welcome to the studio. It has been another crazy week. This is week 2 of the FIBRuary Yarn Crawl. And so we've been open 5 days a week as a retail spot, which means I have had no time to do any dyeing. And luckily we have Nellie who works with us, and she's been doing most of the dyeing this week. And Sarah and Kim have been working with us in other aspects of the studio. So Sarah is our original yarn fairy, and she does all the washing of our yarn and helping prepare it. And Kim has been helping with sales and getting things ready for dyeing as well. And today I had to set up a new business account at the bank, and what I thought was a 45-minute trip turned out to be almost 3.5 hours. So it is dark outside and almost dinner time, and I am just sitting down to do this. So it's later than I wanted it to be. But anyway, here we are. And I thought it might be fun to show you how we set up the dye studio now that we have Nellie working with us, and it's not just me dyeing when I have time. We had to set up more of a system to make sure that we had some better organization. And so I thought I would show you that and kind of how we go through that process. And then if you want to hang out at the end, I will be dyeing the second side of a batch of yarn. So I'm going to turn this off and then take you to the other room. So here is the front part of our studio when you walk in, and for the yarn crawl, we have it set up like a yarn store with all of our naturally dyed yarn and things in here. And then over here, we have more yarn, but we also have it set up so that we can do drying on the racks, and then yarn that is on racks on wheels. So I can take those yarns off the drying rack and move this back over there. Over here, we have this cool little Kanban board. So there's the to-do list. These are the next yarns that we want to do. And Kim already put these on rings, and they're in the closet. So maybe I'll go back to the closet and show you that. These are going to be the next colors. They haven't been prepped yet. And the parking lot colors are things we think we need, but we might want to prioritize something else first. That way, when Nellie comes in, she knows these are already put on rings, and she can start soaking them and scour them. And then she puts them in pre-mordant, and then we dye them. We dry them downstairs. They kind of cure for a while. And then we do an initial wash in Orvis paste. And then we do full washing and rinse them until they run clear. And then when they're ready to skein, we move those little labels and put them in the front room. So going back to the closet, when we're going to dye yarn, to get them ready, we put each skein, we put each skein on a little shower curtain ring, and that helps keep it from getting tangled. And then we use this Tyvek tape to put them all together so that we can more easily lift them in and out of buckets and the dye pots and move them around. And we scour them and soak them in buckets there. And then we take them downstairs to do the mordanting, and then we do the dyeing up here. And so we have the ability to do immersion dyeing, so the deep dyeing in the pots. And then these pans we use for the more speckled or variegated dyeing. So right here we have some cochineal speckles that are drying. So we use our cochineal, and then so we grind up our bugs, we cook them, and then we take the leftover and we use it to speckle, because there's so much color in cochineal you can reuse it. So this particular type of yarn is a variegated yarn that has a solid color running through it, and then we speckle the cochineal, some dried coreopsis for some oranges, and some marigold petals for yellows. And Nellie very sweetly left all of this out for me so it would be easy for me to come in. I'm going to flip this yarn over, lay it all out again, put some more of the solid color on in those lines, and then sprinkle it. Okay, I am back. So I'm going to take these and gently turn them over. So that the other side will get dyed. Kind of spread them out. And I'm not going to put as much color on this side because we already have color that has gone through. Put too much color, you're not going to see the variegation. So I'm stirring up this mixture because it's been sitting overnight. And I'm going to put some lines on it. And we use these little syringes. This looks like a different color, but once it heats up, it's going to turn more of that pink-red color. It sure doesn't look the same, does it? Okay. I'll do one more over here. Okay. We're going to take some of the cochineal speckles and speckle that. And cochineal is pretty intense. You really don't need that much in order to get the speckled colors on there. Put a little bit more there. I'm going to rinse my glove. We're going to do some marigold. And then I do a little squishy so that it kind of gets in there. It's not just on the top layer. We want it to move into the yarn through the layers. Yeah. And then we're going to steam it. I'm not sure if I said this before, but we do one side and let it cool, turn it over and do the other side. With some yarns that have superwash, they're less likely to felt or get mashed up together, and so you can do one side and turn them over while they're still hot, or at least warm to touch. But with the non-superwash, we make sure to cool them in between so that we're not pressing the fibers too much and compressing them. So that is Fiber Friday for today. Just kind of catching you up on this really busy week, and how we're trying to run as a retail space for the Yarn Crawl while still getting our dyeing done. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have some questions about it, put them below in the comments, and we'd love to hear them. Have a great weekend. Bye.